In a broken space colony, where no one goes anymore, one human walks alone every day. Aliens fear this place. Soldiers avoid it. But he keeps coming again and again. That he does not bring weapons. He brings food for starving alien children. That he does not know one truth: their mother is watching, and she is the most feared woman in the galaxy. The space colony was broken and silent. Metal walls were cracked, lights were dead, the air smelled old and cold. No ships came here anymore. Aliens feared this place. Soldiers avoided it. Traders never stopped here. But every day one human came. That he walked slowly through the empty streets holding a small food bag in his hand. That he came again and again. His name was Ethan. Ethan was a human engineer. Long ago he worked on big space ships. That he fixed engines and power cores. But the war changed everything. The ships left. The soldiers left, and Ethan was forgotten. Now he lived alone in this dead colony. Ethan did not come for money. That he did not come for power. That he came for the children. Small alien children hid between broken buildings and dark pipes. Their skin colors were different: blue, gray, pale green. Their eyes were big, their bodies were thin, they were hungry. When they first saw Ethan they were scared. Humans were dangerous, humans brought soldiers, humans brought pain. So they hid. Ethan sat on the ground far away from them. That he opened his bag slowly. Inside were food packs, water tubes and small toys made from scrap metal. That he did not speak. That he pushed the food forward then stepped back. The children watched. Minutes passed. Finally one small child moved forward, then another. Soon all of them came out of hiding. They grabbed the food and ran back. Ethan smiled softly. That he came back the next day, and the next. Soon the children waited for him. Ethan never asked their names. That he never asked about their parents. That he never asked where they came from. That he only asked one thing: are you hungry? The colony was poor, dirty, and forgotten. Broken machines lay everywhere. Old war marks covered the walls. Sometimes armed traders passed through. Sometimes alien patrols searched for hidden people. When soldiers came the children hid. Ethan stayed point. One day a tall alien trader saw Ethan feeding the children. The trader shouted, "Human, go away, those children are dangerous." Ethan looked up calmly. "They are just kids," he said. The trader warned him again, "Their kind brings death. You don't know what you are doing." Ethan stood up and held his food bag tightly. "They are hungry," he replied. "That is all I see." The trader left, shaking his head. Other aliens said the same thing: "Leave them, forget them, save yourself." But Ethan did not listen. That he remembered his past. During the war, he lost his family. His home was destroyed. No one helped him then. No one fed him. No one asked if he was alive. That he would not turn away now. Every day, Ethan fixed small machines in the colony. He repaired water filters. He cleaned old power lines. At night he slept in a small room with flickering lights. But before sunset, he always visited the children. Sometimes, he made small toys for them. A spinning metal ring. A glowing cube. The children laughed. Their fear slowly faded. They trusted him. Ethan did not know the truth. Far above the colony, in the shadows, someone was watching. A tall figure stood on a broken tower. The wind moved her long dark cloak. Her armor was black and sharp. Ancient symbols glowed faintly on her chest. Her eyes were red. She was not just an alien. She was not just a soldier. She was the most feared woman in the galaxy. Her name was known in whispers. Her enemies vanished. Her fleets once ruled entire star systems. And these children were hers. She had hidden them here to protect them. She had killed anyone who came too close. Until now. She watched the human carefully. She saw him give food. She saw him protect the children. She saw him take nothing in return. At first, she thought it was a trick. Humans lied. Humans betrayed. Humans destroyed. She was ready to kill him. But she waited. One night, the colony was quiet. Too quiet. Ethan walked home after feeding the children. The lights flickered. The air felt heavy. He stopped. Something was wrong. Ethan felt it. He turned slowly. High above him, on a broken tower, stood a tall shadow. The moonlight touched cold armor. Red glowing eyes opened in the dark. Ethan's heart beat faster. The shadow did not move. A voice came, calm and dangerous. "So," the woman whispered, her eyes locked on him. "This is the human who feeds my children." Ethan stood frozen. The darkness watched him breathe. And the galaxy held its breath with him. Ethan did not move. The cold night air pressed against his skin. His hands were empty. His heart was loud in his chest. High above him, the woman stood still. Her red eyes watched every breath he took. She stepped forward. The broken tower shook as she landed on the ground in front of him. Dust and metal rose into the air. Her armor was tall and sharp, marked with symbols older than the war. Power moved around her like heat. Ethan swallowed. He knew one thing clearly. This was not a normal alien. She spoke again, her voice calm but heavy. "Human," she said, "you come here every day." Ethan nodded slowly. "Yes," he replied. "Why?" she asked. Ethan looked down at the ground. Then he looked past her, toward the dark streets where the children hid. "They are hungry," he said. "Someone has to help them." The woman said nothing. Silence filled the space between them. Ethan felt like the air itself was waiting. She walked around him slowly, like a predator. Her eyes never left his face. One wrong move could end his life. "You know nothing about them," she said. "Their blood is feared. Their kind has burned worlds." Ethan shook his head. "They are just kids," he said again. "They laugh. They fight over toys. They get scared at night." The woman stopped. For the first time, her eyes changed. Just a little. She raised her hand. Energy formed around her fingers. One thought, and Ethan would be gone. But she did not strike. Instead, she stepped back. "Leave this place," she said. "Do not return." Ethan clenched his fists. "If I leave," he said quietly, "who will feed them?" The woman stared at him. No one had ever spoken to her like this. She turned and disappeared into the shadows, faster than sound. Ethan fell to his knees, breathing hard. He thought it was over. He was wrong. The next day, Ethan returned. The children ran toward him, but fear filled their eyes. Something was wrong. The sky darkened. Heavy ships moved above the colony, silent and slow. Alien soldiers entered the streets, scanning every corner. They were searching. Ethan hid the children inside an old storage room. He stood outside, blocking the door. A soldier shouted, "Move, human." Ethan did not move. A weapon hit his chest. He fell back, pain burning through his body. Still, he stood up again. "Please," Ethan said. "There are no enemies here." The soldiers raised their weapons. Before they could fire, the air screamed. A massive force hit the ground. The woman returned. Her armor glowed red. Power burst from her body. The soldiers froze in fear. She lifted her hand. The soldiers were thrown back like broken toys. Their ships shut down. Their weapons fell silent. She turned to Ethan. Blood ran from his mouth. His body shook. But he was still standing. "Why?" she asked again. "Why protect them?" Ethan looked at her through pain. "Because no one protected me," he said. "And I know what that feels like." The woman reached out. Her hand touched his head. Ethan screamed. His memories opened. She saw everything. The war. The fire. The lost family. The empty nights. She pulled back suddenly. Her breathing changed. She looked away. The children slowly came out of hiding. They ran to her. Mother. They hugged her legs. Their fear was gone. Ethan's eyes widened. Mother? The woman removed her helmet. Her face was sharp, strong, and tired. Old scars marked her skin. I am their mother, she said. Ethan felt the world spin. You're their mother, he whispered. She nodded. I am hunted, she said. My enemies would kill them to hurt me. I hid them here, among ruins, where no one would look. She looked at Ethan deeply. I watched you, she continued. Every day. I waited for the lie. I waited for betrayal. She stepped closer. It never came. The sky suddenly lit up. Enemy ships appeared. Dozens of them. The children screamed. The woman's eyes burned with rage. They have found us, she said. She turned to Ethan. Human, she said, run. If you stay, you will die. Ethan looked at the children. Then at her. He shook his head. No, he said. Not again. The ground trembled. War was coming. And this time. Ethan would not walk away. The sky above the colony was no longer empty. Dark shapes moved between the stars. Enemy ships. Silent. Waiting. Ethan looked up. He knew those ships. They were not traders. They were not soldiers on patrol. They were hunters. The children held their mother tightly. Fear returned to their eyes. Their small hands shook. The woman, their mother, stood tall. Her armor slowly changed color, glowing brighter, stronger. Power moved around her like a storm. This colony is no longer safe, she said. She turned to Ethan. Human, she said, this is your last chance. Leave now. Ethan's body hurt. His chest burned where the weapon hit him. Blood stained his clothes. But his feet did not move. Instead, he walked forward. He stood beside her. If I run, Ethan said quietly, they will still be scared. She looked at him sharply. You will die, she said. My enemies erase planets. Ethan nodded. I know, he said. But I also know this. He looked at the children. Someone once left me behind, he continued. I won't do that again. Silence followed. The woman stared at him. For the first time in many years, she hesitated. Enemy ships descended lower. Sirens echoed across the broken colony. Old buildings shook. She spoke softly now. You are weak, she said. You are human. You have no army. Ethan gave a small smile. I can fix things, he said. She frowned. What? Ethan pointed around them. This colony still has power lines. Old weapons. Broken shields. I worked on war ships, he said. If there's even a chance. I'll take it. The woman searched his face. She saw fear. But she also saw something stronger. Resolve. She turned to the children. Hide, she ordered gently. They ran into the underground tunnels. Then she turned back to Ethan. Very well, she said. Show me what a human can do. The enemy attacked. Energy blasts hit the colony. Explosions lit the streets. Old metal screamed. Ethan ran. He moved through fire and smoke, toward an abandoned defense tower. The systems were dead. Rust covered the controls. He wiped blood from his face and began working. Come on, he whispered. The woman fought outside. She moved like a storm. One wave of her hand destroyed a ship. Another blast turned enemies to dust. But there were too many. Even she could not stop them all. Inside the tower, Ethan connected wires, bypassed systems, forced power into dead machines. The screen flickered. Online. Ethan laughed once, short and tired. Yes, he said. The defense guns turned. They fired. Enemy ships exploded in the sky. The attackers froze. A human, one of them shouted over comms. A human is controlling the guns. Ethan did not stop. He rerouted power to shields. Old energy walls formed around the colony. Outside, the woman felt the change. The colony was no longer helpless. She looked back at the tower. At the human inside. Something old stirred in her chest. Respect. An enemy strike broke through. A blast hit the tower. Ethan was thrown to the ground. Sparks burned his skin. The room filled with smoke. He tried to stand. His legs failed. The enemy ships prepared a final strike. Outside, the woman screamed in rage. She flew toward the tower, but she was too far. Inside the smoke, Ethan reached for one last switch. His vision blurred. Just one more thing, he whispered. He activated the emergency core. The colony's ancient weapon woke up. A massive beam of light shot into space. The enemy fleet shattered. Silence returned. The smoke cleared. The woman landed beside the tower. She rushed inside. Ethan lay on the floor, barely breathing. She knelt beside him. You should have run, she said softly. Ethan smiled weakly. Someone had to stay, he replied. She placed her hand on his chest. Warm energy flowed into him. His breathing slowed. His pain faded. You are foolish, she said. Then she added, quietly. And brave. The children ran in. They saw Ethan. They hugged him. You stayed, one of them said. Ethan closed his eyes. Yes, he whispered. I stayed. Above them, the stars were clear again. But the galaxy had noticed. A human had stood beside the most powerful woman alive. And the final chapter had not yet begun. The silence after the battle felt strange. Burning ships drifted in space. Broken metal fell like rain around the colony. The old building still stood, but barely. Ethan lay on the cold floor of the tower. His breathing was slow. His body was weak. But he was alive. The woman stood beside him. She looked at the destruction around her. Enemy fleets had been broken. Not by her power alone. By a human. By one man who refused to leave. She helped Ethan stand. You should be dead, she said. Ethan gave a tired smile. I hear that a lot, he replied. For the first time, the woman let out a small breath that almost sounded like a laugh. The children ran outside. They looked at the sky in wonder. The fear was gone from their eyes. For the first time, they felt safe. But peace did not last long. Far away, across the galaxy, alarms rang. Messages spread fast. Warning alert, enemy fleet destroyed. Warning location, forgotten human colony. Warning cause, unknown human involvement. The galaxy was confused. And then, afraid. Hours later, new ships arrived. Not enemies. Observers. Heavy ships marked with ancient symbols surrounded the colony. Beings from many worlds watched from a distance. They had come for her. The woman stepped forward, her armor glowing once more. They will demand my surrender, she said. They always do. Ethan stood beside her. They came because of me too, he said. She turned sharply. You are human, she said. They will blame you. Ethan nodded. Let them, he said. A bright beam of light formed in the sky. A voice echoed across the colony. Lady Virexa, the voice said. Ruler of the fallen empire. You are ordered to surrender your weapons, and your children. The children froze. Ethan stepped forward. No, he said loudly. The voice paused. A human voice answering a galactic command shocked everyone. Ethan looked up at the ships. These children are not weapons, he said. They are kids. And this place is not a battlefield. Silence followed. Then laughter echoed through the speakers. A human speaks of rules, the voice mocked. You are weak. You are nothing. Ethan took a deep breath. Then he said something that changed everything. You are right, he said. I am weak. The galaxy listened. I don't have fleets. I don't rule worlds, Ethan continued. But I know this, power does not decide what is right. Lady Virexa looked at him. Her enemies looked at him. The galaxy listened. You destroyed her empire because you feared her, Ethan said. Now you want her children because you fear the future. He pointed to the broken colony. You left places like this to rot. You left people to starve. And you call yourselves protectors. The silence became heavy. The woman felt something she had not felt in years. Hope. The voice spoke again, slower now. Human, what do you demand? Ethan answered without hesitation. Leave, he said. Leave the children. Leave this colony. A pause. Then another voice joined in. Then another. Different species. Different worlds. Enough, one said. The human is right, said another. The galaxy was divided. And then something rare happened. The ships moved back. Slowly. Reluctantly. The threat was gone. Lady Virexa turned to Ethan. You just faced the galaxy, she said. Why? Ethan looked at the children. Because someone had to, he replied. Days passed. The colony changed. Food arrived. Power returned. People came back. Humans and aliens worked together. The children laughed openly now. Lady Virexa prepared to leave. Her ship was ready. She stood before Ethan. Come with us, she said. You will be protected. Honored. Ethan shook his head. This place needs fixing, he said. And I'm good at fixing things. She studied him. Then, slowly. She bowed. A ruler feared by the galaxy bowed to a human. My children will remember you, she said. And so will I. The ship lifted into the sky. The children waved. Ethan watched until the stars swallowed the light. Later, whispers spread across the galaxy. A story. Not about fleets. Not about empires. But about a human who fed hungry children. They said. He did not know their mother was powerful. He helped them anyway. And that is why. The galaxy remembered his name.